What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Support Group Gaming. I'm a therapist who games, and today we're going to be talking about the rise and fall of the Shenmue series and how possibly the developers who have made the fan favorite Yakuza series, how they can potentially step in and carry the Shenmue series into the promised land. But before we get into that, if you guys can do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button, because my philosophy is if you enjoy the vibe, why not like and subscribe? Now let's get into it. The Shenmue series debuted on the Sega Dreamcast back in 1999. And man, let me tell you, when this game hit the scene, it became a phenomenon. It was a game that we had never seen before, from the graphics, the innovation, just everything. Combat. This game was light years ahead of its time. It took place in an open world. You ran around Japan, and we had to do things in this game that no other game asked us to do. Now, the game starts off with Ryo Hazuki arriving home, and all of a sudden he sees a Mercedes Benz sitting on some things, and he automatically knew something ain't right. So he runs home and right in time sees his dad being beat down by a martial arts master by the name of Landy, who you guys saw with that nice green robe with the dragon on there. Now, that was the main driving force. He sees his dad gets beat down, his dad dies right in front of him, and that pretty much sets up the game. Now, when I said that we had to do things that we never had to do, this game literally made you pretty much went into detective mode. It was your responsibility to solve the case, to find out who this guy is, and you literally had to leave no stone unturned. The game had you go out talking to every NPC in the game, and hopefully you came across the one that pointed you in the direction of where to go next, who to talk to next. And that was something that during that time was such a new concept that the people who played Shenmue became addicted to. You can go and walk through Rio's house. You can open every drawer, every cabinet, finding little collectibles and things like that. And literally, with that same type of concept, you talk to every single person in the game. Doesn't matter who they are. You're asking them, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? They'll either tell you yeah or no, or did you see that car pass through? They were like, no, but you know what? So and so said that a car almost hit her. Boom, you go talk to her, and so it definitely makes you a master detective trying to figure out who was this dude that killed your dad right in front of you. Now, in regards to the setting of the game, it takes place in Japan. And part one, you go through the city, like I said earlier, finding clues, and through those clues, you're getting into all types of adventures. You're coming across, you're meeting people. The game's pace is very well done. And next thing you know, you're working on the docks, driving forklifts, trying to get information on the gang who's connected to Landy, and you're doing mundane tasks such as working and driving the forklift, and you get money for doing it. You get paid per crate that you put down. And so for them to add that into the game really gave a new concept, like I said, that a lot of people weren't used to. A lot of people who played this game weren't old enough to work, so the concept of, wow, I'm doing a virtual work day, and at the end of your shift some things pop off in the harbor, and it's getting you closer and closer to your destination, or to your mission. And so after all that, part two, or rather part one, ends, and you did all this stuff in Japan. Part one ends with you not catching your target, but finding out that he is now on his way to Hong Kong. And where does the game end there? It ends with you going to Hong Kong. 2 years later, Shenmue 2 comes out in 2001, and it's Rio arriving in Hong Kong. Same concept, same, the things that made part one great were applied to part two. Same type of get down. You're over there, finding, searching for clues, following leads, and that leads you on some amazing adventures. And once again, part two ends with Lan Di getting away. And once again, leaves fans like, oh, Lan Di, you son of a, I'm on your ass. We gonna get you. Unfortunately, the games didn't sell as well as they hoped, and Shenmue became something that almost became a thing of the past. But years later, and I mean many, many years later, Shenmue 3 was announced. And boy, did that set the gaming world of those who followed. It set it on fire. Let's talk about it. Shenmue 3 was finally released almost 20 years later. 2019, the release of Shenmue 3 comes, and fans were over the hill excited. I know me personally, I could not wait to play this game. It was like, you accept reality, like, damn it, this will never happen. And you'll never be able to seek that justice for Rio with Lan Di. And then the game comes out, boom, everybody's going crazy. However, Sega was not a part of the process and the original, development team. I mean, they were, but Sega, they weren't backed by Sega and all of that. Now, for people like me, I gotta say that even though I was very happy to continue the story, I was very disappointed with the way this game turned out. And I get it. They weren't a AAA studio. This was done again by Yu Suzuki and his team. The essence of Shenmue was there. I think they purposely tried to kind of pick up where they left off with part two. But what this game showed us was just how far behind this game was when it came to modern gaming. The controls felt a little stiff. It's a little janky. Combat wasn't that great. I mean, they made it a little simpler, but I wasn't really able to get busy like I was in, part one and part two. Your opponent just blocked, and I was just like, man, the combat was not enjoyable. And what this game also did was it added a lot of elements to the game that just felt unnecessary, almost like they made you do certain things just to stretch out the length of the game. Like there was a part where you had to earn some money so that you can, I think it was, get like a scroll so you can learn some moves or something like that before you can advance. And they got you chopping wood and trying to gamble, and it was just such a drag. Like I was just like, man, I'm not really enjoying this game. And then we wait 18 years or so to not be any closer than we were when we stepped foot in Shenmue 3. And so to me, it was like, we waited all this time. I would have thought Yu Suzuki would have been like, okay, this is our one chance. Like, I know he had a, like a timeline. Like, okay, Shenmue has this many chapters and this game is going to cover these many chapters. This game's going to cover these many chapters, so on and so forth. But it's like, bro, this was probably your last opportunity to make a game. And you left us on a cliffhanger that really didn't even feel like the journey through this game was rewarding. At least with 1 and 2, it felt rewarding. Like we did all this stuff and it was like, damn it, we got you. Same thing with part 2, but this one, this game just didn't feel good, and I appreciate it. I appreciate Yu Suzuki for just giving us an opportunity to step foot back into this world, but it wasn't fulfilling. And honestly, what it did was take away my desire for a sequel, because at the end of that, I was like, we waited this long and this is what we got, and it doesn't feel any like that scene right there where you just saw Londi stand up. That was like the biggest scene of the game, but everything else just felt like the game felt like a big ass side mission. Nothing felt rewarding. So I am lost when it comes to how I feel. But there's another series that reminds me very much of Shenmue, and that series is the Yakuza Like a Dragon series. Let's talk about it. The Yakuza series is a series that has been developed by Ryo Gotoku, and they were also produced by Sega. And one thing about the Yakuza series is that it sold really well. It is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best franchises in all video gaming. From the story to the execution to the gameplay mechanics to the voice acting to everything. And this game reminded me so much of Shenmue, running through the streets, running through Japan, just running through Asia. And this is exactly the foundation that Shenmue can thrive on. With the gameplay mechanics, the combat, the storytelling, I truly believe that this is a developer that knows what it's doing, that has the credibility, that has the trust of Sega, and that has the knowledge of how to continue the Shenmue series. Yu Suzuki needs to go ahead and figure out a way to make this happen with Sega and Ryo Gotoku. Because I'm going to tell you this, anybody who is a Yakuza fan is going to play the Shenmue, the Shenmue version if they were to make it. And if they had re-released Shenmue 1 and 2 on PlayStation. So, fans of the game can play those to get themselves familiar with the story. But what I'm saying here is they can go ahead and take over this series and make Yu Suzuki's dream come true. Because I'm going to tell you this again. Whoever was a Shenmue fan is definitely a fan of the Yakuza series. And whoever is a Yakuza fan would definitely play the Shenmue series if the Yakuza franchise took over. And a lot of folks like myself feel denied, feel cheated of knowing what a series or what a story like Shenmue was and how it looks like. Because I'm going to tell you like this, the way it stands right now, whoever played part 3, some people like it, but the majority of people who were diehard fans really did not like it. It left a sour taste. And somebody like myself is looking at this whole situation like the desire for a part 4 has went away. And so, like I said, if you let Ryo Gotoku do this series, that is going to bring so much excitement. But if not, what they need to do is at least finish the series in some type of manga, some type of animated film or something, because fans feel cheated on a story that had so much promise. The way Shenmue Part 1 took you through Japan, the way Part 2 took you through China, and then the way Part 3 tried to take you through Bayou Village. Here's the thing. In part 3, you met that girl who was supposed to be like this, like she was, like they made her seem like like some type of, like, I don't even know what to call it, but they made this girl seem like she was gonna have superpowers, and she was gonna be the light of the Phoenix mirror. Like, I'm thinking she was gonna be some type of supernatural being. And part three, she just felt like, I don't know, man. But anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious to see if you're a Shenmue fan. Would you like to see the Yakuza developers take over, or not? Or do you think I'm tripping and part three was just fine? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. If you got to this part of the video, I just appreciate you hearing what I had to say. And I will catch you guys next time here at Support Group Gaming. Once again, I'm a therapist who games. You guys take care. Peace.